Virgo, it's Empress Rose here, and welcome to your reading. These are general readings, so we take what works, leave what doesn't, as with literally every experience we have in life. If I don't catch your storyline or wavelength on this particular reading, check your other major placements, see if you can't find something useful there. All right, we're going to start with the Oracle Mystical Moments deck here for an intuitive start to this reading. We are grateful for the accurate message we are about to receive for Virgo. All right, what do we got here? We got a book. White Rose of Hope was on the top there. I can't take a book though. Oh, this one's spun. Bloom. You got this last week. All right, what else we have? Oracle Mystical Moments for Virgo. Oh, another spinner. We're tricky. All sorts of little tricks this time. Okay. All right, you're very focused. Leo just got this card as well. You're very focused here, or you're trying to be. You're trying to be very focused, possibly on something in the future, possibly on something over social media or some sort of video or camera format or something like that. It could be media related. You're very focused on something, or you're trying to be very focused. But if you look very closely, and I don't think you can because of the focus of my camera here, she's not actually looking through the camera. She's looking out at us. But she's very committed to this. Even though she's getting a little distracted, she's very committed to this. And her focus is creating a sort of a brainstorm. She's having all sorts of new ideas coming off of this. Very promising new ideas, seeds for the future. She's trying to focus, but she's having a little difficulty. She's getting a little distracted. There could be leaps forward here in understanding and ideas. These ideas could really leap forward, but she's very committed here. And then we have pure nature. So we have some sort of irreversible change, like puberty, or like any of the other major changes we all go through in life, where you don't go back. You don't go back to not having had the baby. You don't go back to anything like that. Like this is this blooming. She was a bud, and now she's bloomed into a rose. So something is blooming, something is changing. Your true nature, or some part of your true nature, has bloomed and come out in a way, and bloomed and blossomed in a way that you can't stuff the toothpaste back in the tube. It's happened. It's out. You bloomed. You can't go back to bud format. You can't rebloom. Here you are. You're blooming in a way that you can't stop. It might have to do with a sense of self-worth. It might have to do with a fundamental understanding of who you are and of yourself. But it's happened. It's here. Or it is happening, and there you are. You're here now. Here you are now. You're a new you. You're no longer a bud. You're a full blossom. And you could be focused on this thing that's changing, this part of you that's changing, and could be surprising you. And it's a fundamental understanding of yourself, because see, she's also dressed in red. So there's something here about that sort of fundamental, basic understanding of yourself, of who you are, perhaps. It's drawing your focus. You may be getting distracted by it, but it's drawing the focus. You're watching yourself you might be watching yourself change in ways that are irreversible, and blooming in your true nature. Some part of you is now opening up right now. No matter how old we are, this can always happen, where some part of ourselves just, the rose bush just blooms, at different times, and the blooms just come out, and it's just what's happening. And you might be really focused on something having to do with that. And then I love this because this is bloom as well. So you're blooming here. And then I said something about this, about a brainstorm. And here we have a brainstorm, just this sort of electric growth coming off of her brain, her, the vascular system, with the universe as far as communication, this intuitive blooming that's growing, this intuition, this brainstorm, this electric brainstorm that's happening for you. And it could have started with some sort of irritation, something that was bothering you, and somehow that's created your growth, like a pearl, creating growth around the irritation, creating something quite beautiful around this thing that's bothering you. But I mean, here you have your true nature is blooming, and here you have blooming as well. This one is literally called bloom, and this has to do with your mind and your perceptions and your intuition, and you're very much having to do with intuition and psychic connection and connection to the universe, and to we have this root system coming out of her head, this nurturing, this understanding, these nutrients coming into your mind, coming into you to feed you and help you, and help you bloom and grow and go through this transformation, this transition. So there's a lot of help from the universe or intuitive information coming in that's causing you to bloom like this. This process seems like this would take a lot of my focus too. But I love the sense of brainstorm here, like this, these ideas, just electric, changing very much here. Okay, that happened very quickly. We have this Moonology deck. Okay, so your commitment is being tested. So maybe you're having some difficulty with this blooming. Maybe something's happening. First quarter moon, so you still have a ways to go. There's still you're mid-bloom, you're mid-bloom here, mid-change, and your commitment is being tested. First quarter moon, so we still have a ways to go. You might have some sharp corners you have to turn here. But the clouds are clearing. And the path before you is getting clearer, but there are some hurdles here, and you're going to have to stay committed to this blooming process. Although some part of me feels like you're not really in control of this blooming process. It's something that sort of feels like it's happening to you, and that's why you're observing it so closely, because it seems to be something that's happening at you or to you or within you that's somehow otherly guided. But your commitment to perhaps your own personal growth is being tested. Or maybe these clouds are coming in and we're not going to be able to see this moon for a while. And we just have to have a lot of faith that it's going to be there. But we still have a ways to go. We're only partway to completion of this. We're only halfway to the completion of this blooming. We're still halfway there. So we need to... I just am noticing these two flowers on either side. You might be, and she's between the two flowers, like there's like a blooming that's happening, and you're sort of you're partway there, or you're halfway in between, or you've got two situations going on here, and you're sort of sitting in between them in very focused intuition coming in, but you have two things going on, and you're centered within them, and they're requiring a lot of focus, but you're getting very distracted. Your commitment's being tested, though. So there's clouds coming in. The vision's not going to be clear for a while, and you might have some sharp corners to turn in this growth process, in this blooming process. There could be some difficulty coming your way, and maybe you aren't committed. Maybe you don't want to. Your commitment's being tested. Well, it's always fair to be like, yeah, well, fuck this. This isn't what I wanted. And I'm a big believer in quitting things that aren't working for you, because you waste a lot of time on things that aren't working for you. So maybe it's tested and you're like, no, thanks. I'd rather not bloom right now. Thank you. But I'm guessing that you do want to keep moving forward. And with this process. So what are you quitting? Are you quitting? Are you quitting fighting it? Are you quitting, there's things you can quit. So anyway, but your commitment's being tested. New moon in Cancer, you and your loved ones are safe. So Cancer is very focused on family, very focused on loving family relationships. But you can bite back. You do, you know, this rose does have thorns. You can protect yourself, and you can protect your family. So if you're worried about something being unsafe or some part of this like explosive mind being unsafe, it's not. It's safe. This is a reassurance that you are safe. You are protected as you, as these troubles and difficulties and sharp corners come in, this is to reassure you that you are safe and that you are going to be safe and you're going to be okay. Because this blooming can be very scary. I mean, going through massive changes in your life or any kind of irreversible change can be very frightening. So this is a reassurance here that there's safety here, that even though some part of this feels very scary, you are safe, and these, some of the sharp corners coming up here. Oh my God, what did I just do? Oh, that's weird. We have Six of Pentacles being really different here. So I don't know what this means, but this is about generosity. Six of Pentacles, this is about generosity and kindness coming in. All right, Virgo. Virgo, this is your past, your present, your inner landscape, what's at issue, your environment, your to-do list, and your possible outcome. Holy moly, I messed up my deck. Huh. That's funny, when I was shuffling, this Four of Swords came out a couple times, and here it is. Okay. In your recent past, you have the High Priestess. You have a spiritual journey in which you did not know what the outcome was going to be, but you were not intended to know. This could be this blooming process that you started to go through. You're only partway through, but you started some sort of journey, and the results have been hidden from you of where you're going, because at this point in your recent past, the journey was more important than the outcome. So the High Priestess is here to let you know, yes, you are going to be working in darkness. I could tell you where you're going, but I don't want to, because the journey is the important part right now. That's the important part. So you've been through some sort of mysterious situation in the past, or it's been very mysterious to you. It could be this psychic communication or whatever, this blooming in your mind, this whole blooming, changing things. It's been very, very mysterious, and you haven't been able to see through the veil, see through what's hidden from you. You haven't been able to see through that, but that's been by design, and it's been a loving move from the universe. It's been about encouraging your personal growth and your personal journey and what you're here to learn, versus giving you answers and spoon feeding you everything. So the universe was like, yeah, sorry, we can't tell you, but you got to go through this thing. It's going to be a little bit mysterious and weird for you. But we're here with you, we're here for you, but you do have to go through this. So it's a spiritual knowing, but not sharing. Things held in darkness. The book here is closed. She's got it shut. She's not sharing the book of your life with you. You don't get to read it right now. You have to just go through some sort of process that you were meant to go through. In your present situation, you have Nine of Cups. So there's something emotionally fulfilling. You have these Nine of Cups. They're a little bit like trophies to you. You feel very good about them. You feel very good about something that you do have emotionally. It's a communication, it's a connection, it's a feeling, it's a relationship, it's something like that. And you functionally have it. Like it's, I like the way the Santa Muerte deck depicts it. You have your treasure chest is full, and you are headed home. So you already have the treasure. Maybe you haven't brought it home yet, but you already have your trophies, you've already won. That's the vibe in your present situation. In your inner landscape, there's something about Ten of Pentacles. You're really thinking about and hopeful for some sort of legacy, some sort of family inheritance, or what's the legacy? You're really thinking about the legacy that you hope to leave. This is an older man. This is a younger man. You can be any of these characters here, because at any point in our life, we can both be the teacher and the pupil. We can both be the bequeather and the receiver. You know. So, and then I love this little good boy right here. He's a good boy. And so there's something about family wealth or family inheritance here. Ten of Pentacles is the peak of wealth, so much wealth that you're going to be able to leave an inheritance and a legacy. And somehow this inheritance idea, whether physical or just in ideas or just in other aspects of our life, that's really heavily on your mind. You're really thinking about that. This could be thinking too about a family legacy of ideas that have been handed down, and maybe you don't want them anymore. Maybe they're not like maybe there's not. Maybe you're thinking about, family legends or family lore or family traditions that aren't really, that you're not very happy with, or something like that, or you are happy with, and you want to make sure that those family traditions go on. So there's something about family inheritance here that's on your mind a lot, and you could be dealing with thinking about an ancestor, thinking about a grandfather, a father figure, something like that, that they could be weighing heavily on your mind. They could be part of the communications you're experiencing. And you and your loved ones are safe. This is quite a family vibe. So you're definitely, family is on your mind right now, for sure. For sure. And then we have the at issue is the Four of Swords. So we take this in the reverse. This could be illness. This could be so Four of Swords is like take a nap, pause in order to prepare, planning, preparation, and part of preparation can be napping, sleeping, taking a time out, resting between two projects. But that's not happening. You don't get to do that. And this is causing a problem because it could be making you actually very sick. It could be making you depressed. It could be making you anxious. It could be making you physically ill. I mean, oftentimes when we can respond to that first little tickle in our throat and have some hot tea and go straight to bed, when we have that freedom to do that, we can rest through and allow our bodies to have the energy it needs to fight something off. If we're too busy, if we have too much going on, if we're too stressed, our body can't do that early self-repair. It's like if your tent gets a little hole in it, if you have a repair kit, you can okay. But if you don't have a repair kit, by the end of the night in that storm, your tent is going to be just shredded and useless, and you're going to have to throw it out. Don't ask how I know this, but you got to repair that tent early on as soon as you feel the tiredness and the rupture. But you didn't do that. You didn't take a time out. You didn't take a break. Or you may not have been able to. There's certainly times that, everybody is like, oh gosh, I feel this tickle, but I've got 12 more meetings that I have to do. So there could be some illness that's an issue. You may be feeling sick, you may be feeling ill, emotionally, physically, something like that. It's a forced time out. And that's causing a problem somehow for you. Maybe this is why you're getting this reassurance that your loved ones are safe, you are safe, and your commitment's being tested, because this is like something going wrong with your health or something like that. It's a forced time out. That you didn't ask for, you didn't want, and maybe you should have taken a nap earlier, but you didn't for whatever reason, and now there's some ill health going on. And maybe this is why you're thinking about legacy, thinking about inheritance, is that somebody's in bad health right now. And that's bringing up that issue. In your environment, you have the Seven of Cups. So you have someone who's not who they appears to be. There's someone in your environment that's not who they appear to be, and it's wreaking havoc with your emotions. You might be sensing that there's something off, but you're not quite sure. So there's something in your environment. This could be an internal demon too. This looks like an internal demon to me, weaving its way through your cups, through your happiness, through your emotional stability, and causing a problem here, and causing problems for you. This is things not being as they appear, not being as they seem, and this is something going on in your environment. You may be aware of it, you may be perpetuating it, or you may not be. But whatever it is, it's causing a problem. You may be just kind of sensing that something's off here, or something's not the way it seems and not the way it should be. And so there's this person here wearing a mask. There's a skull here representing death. There's this monster here, and then here are all your emotional cups. You may be able to be holding it together while this is all going on. Because yeah, that's great. I love it when my phone does that. So your to-do list here is the Aquarius just got this. Is the wounded warrior. This is you are hurt, you are damaged, you've taken damage. But you still got to keep going. You still got to keep fighting. This is the energy you're being called into. Yeah, you're hurt. Yeah, you want a nap. You need a nap. You should have taken a nap. You need a break. But you still have to keep your ideals in hand, and you still need to fight for what's yours. Fight for this inspiration. Fight for your vision. Maybe fight for your transformation here. Your commitment's being tested, and this is keep fighting, keep going. You're hurt, you're wounded, but you still need to keep going. This is definitely, this guy's commitment's been tested. Look, he's wounded. He needs to go to the fucking hospital. He needs to at least take a nap and sleep this head wound off. But instead, he's out here and he's continuing to fight, continuing to hold to his ideals, continuing to hold to his change, his transformation. What's his? He's got his wand in his hands, his inspiration, his intuition, his growth, and he needs to stand his ground. So that's the energy you're being called into. You may be so tired, you may be sick of this. Your commitment is hella being tested, and you're supposed to remain committed. Remain committed to this growth. Remain committed to this change that you're going through. Remain committed to this this thing that you're focused on, that you're getting a little distracted from. Recommit, refocus. Get back out there. Get back out there, champ. And keep fighting, okay? For what's yours, for your ideals, for your intuition, these intuitive messages coming in. You need to stand your ground. You need to hold your ground. Your commitment is definitely being tested. But ultimately, you and your loved ones are safe. This is what's beautiful, is even though we have this Four of Swords here reversed, talking about sickness, illness, this head wound here, you are safe. So you can keep, this is like a promise that you can keep fighting, you can keep going. Your commitment's being tested. Remain committed. And even though you feel like you're taking some super bad hits and some damage here, you're ultimately safe in this process. And you're going to be safe even though there's some damage coming in. And so in your possible outcome is the Emperor. You have everything you need. You're all four kings. Powerful, strong, incredibly powerful energy here. A lot of, this is, you know, you have everything you need. There's a lot of self-confidence, a lot of power, a lot of self-confidence. This is the energy you're going towards. You got to remain committed. But you're going towards Emperor. He has everything he needs. He is, you know, the kings sit below him. He is very powerful. He's a visionary. There's sort of an eternal life vibe, or very deeply connected to life. So yeah, you are safe. This is where you're going. Keep fighting. Keep transforming. Keep changing. Hold to your vision. Keep focused. Even though you're getting a little distracted, stay focused. Even though you're wounded, you're safe. Your commitment's just being tested. That's all. That's all that's going on here. You are actually safe. It's your commitment. And this is why she doesn't want to tell you. She wants you to prove your commitment. She doesn't want to tell you where you're going. She doesn't want to she doesn't want to, I mean, she just did. You're going to this Emperor vibe. But she's not going to hold your hand through this process because your commitment's being tested. That's the whole point here, is that your commitment, your vision is being tested. This is here to tell you that you're ultimately safe even though you don't feel like it right now. Emotionally, socially, you got some sort of snake in the grass here. You might be sick, you might be tired, you might have a little head wound here, but you got to keep going because you're going towards the Emperor. So your commitment's being tested, but you're going someplace super awesome. You're really blooming, you're transforming, you're becoming more and more who you were meant to be here. And even though you're taking some hits, you're ultimately safe. And this is just a process of testing your commitment. How committed are you to your growth, to your vision? You want this? You want this? You want to be this Emperor? You got to work for it. So beautiful reading, Virgo. I thank you so much for your likes, subscribes, and comments. Not only do I personally find them encouraging, they also help raise the profile of the channel so that other people can find these messages. So I hope you have a wonderful week.